everybody, let's talk about finding the vertex of a quadratic given in standard form. So, we're given the equation y equals negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 10. What we want to do is find the vertex of the quadratic. So here's where we're at. If we would have had vertex form, that is y equals ax minus h squared plus k, finding the vertex would be pretty easy. Because in vertex form, you got your h, you got your k, therefore you know the vertex. But what we're going to work in is this is standard form, which is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So we're dealing with a different form, so finding the vertex is a little bit tougher. So here's how we're going to go about doing this. Way back in the day, some mathematicians really helped us out by looking at what are the connections between vertex form and standard form. Now there's a lot of math going on here that might be a little bit higher for Algebra 2 students, but I'll explain what's going on. So if you start with vertex form, y equals x minus h squared plus k, and you start by trying to break this down and change it to standard form. So we're talking taking x minus h and squaring it. If you square it, you're going to get this line right here with, here's what's going on inside the parentheses. X squared minus 2xh plus h squared. The next thing a mathematician would do is take this a and distribute it on through. When you distribute it on through, you get ax squared minus 2ahx plus ah squared plus k. So here's the deal. We started in vertex form, and we tried to get as far along to standard form. Standard form being y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So what some mathematicians did is they said, all right, well, what's the connection between standard form and this long drawn out vertex form? Well, they looked at, well, what's the pieces that are in front of x? In front of x in the vertex form would have been negative 2ah. In front of the x in standard form is just a b. So if these are both in the exact same spots, then these must be equal. So we know b is equal to negative 2ah. Now here's why this is useful to us. In vertex form, we know h and k is my vertex. If I know h, I know the first part of my vertex. So we have this equation here that says b equals negative 2ah. So there is an h here that if I knew what this was, then I know the first part of the vertex. So what mathematicians did is they took this and used a little Algebra 1 and said, let's solve this equation for h. When you solve this equation for h, you get h equals negative b over 2a. This discovery is monumental here. This connects vertex form to standard form. So that if you're in standard form, you could figure out what's going on with h, which would be in vertex form. Now, a little bit of this can be a little bit confusing since there's a lot of variables here and no numbers. The big deal is when you're dealing with standard form, if you can take negative b divided by 2a, this is what gives you h, which aka is the x value of the vertex, okay? It's the x value of the vertex. So let's see how this is all connected here. Given the equation y equals negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 10, we need to find the vertex of the quadratic. So we are in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. Remember, we have this monumental fact right here. So in order to do this, I need to know what's going on with a and b. And it also doesn't hurt to know what c is. So when I'm dealing with negative 3x squared plus 12x minus 10, whatever is in front of the x squared is a. So a is negative 3. What is ever in front of the x value is b. So b is 12. And our last and final piece in the back, that is c. So c is negative 10. So I know a is negative 3, b is 12, and c is negative 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and figure out the first part of the vertex. We're going to figure out the x value here. In order to do that, we have to find negative b over 2a. So, using what I have here, let's set it up. First thing I need is I need a negative. Next thing I need is b, which is 12. I need a division sign. I need a 2 on the bottom, and I need a being negative 3. So my setup is I have negative 12 divided by 2 times negative 3. The top stays just a plain old negative 12. The bottom is 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. Negative 12 divided by negative 6 gives you 2. So what I just found was the h, aka the x value of the vertex. Okay, we're halfway there. A complete vertex gives me an x and a y value. So right now for the vertex, I know the x value is 2. All I have to figure out is what is the y value of that vertex. Well, if I know x is 2 and I have an equation, why don't we combine the knowledge of what we know about x with this equation? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this x value, plug it into this equation, simplify, and see if I can get a y value. So starting with this top equation, I'm going to start with y equals negative 3, and since I'm plugging in for x here, I'm going to put in parentheses 2 squared plus 12 times 2, parentheses, minus 10. Now, however you want to go about simplifying this is entirely up to you. You can try and do it piece by piece. You can try and do it all at once. Whatever you want to do is fine. A quick and safe way is, since my class is allowed to use a calculator, if you type this in just as you see it in a calculator, it's going to handle everything for you. So I'm going to type in negative 3, parentheses 2, parentheses, squared, plus 12, parentheses 2, parentheses, minus 10. When I type that all in, I get it simplified, so this entire right side is just 2. The left side still being y. So I found the x value earlier is 2, and it just so happens I just found the y value of my vertex is also 2. So the vertex is 2, 2. Again, a quick overview of how we got here. We're going to use the fact of x equals or h equals negative b over 2a. And this works entirely for standard form, not any other form. I take negative b over 2a, so I plugged in, figured out a, b, c, plugged in and set up my negative b over 2a, simplified and got an answer. When you figure out your negative b over 2a, that is the x value. Once you have an x value, plug it into the equation, simplify it out, it gives you the y value. Once you have an x and a y value, you have yourself the vertex. That was finding the vertex of a quadratic given in standard form.